All right. Hi, guys. Good evening. Hope you're all doing well. I so need coffee. I need coffee so bad, guys. Um, Maddie is already here scratching my arm, ready to like jump up here to say hello. Congrats to Ryan on first, Panda for second, Katie claiming the early crew, Tinderloo for third, Queen with the early crew. Congrats to all. Hello, Holy. I hope you're having a great stream, sweetie. Hi, Dave. Oh, Tinderloo, yes. That's exactly what I need. I need that coffee in my life. Like, I need my breath. Right now, the coffee is brewing. I was like, yeah, a shot of espresso is not going to help me right now. I need a proper giant size cup of coffee. That's what I need. And I need to sip on this coffee and enjoy this coffee and come to life. But hello, guys. Me. Ah. So, how was your day today? I am like feeling pretty drained. And I'm like, this is not okay. I need more energy in my life. And also, I know, but I don't want like that small cup of espresso. I want a big, juicy cup of coffee. All right. Because my cup of coffee is like 2.5 cups of coffee. Okay. This is why I need my proper cup of coffee. Okay. Listen, don't be coming at me. You don't know my coffee size. My one cup is like 2.5 of yours. I need my coffee. Mimi Q's here, you know? Mimi Q's just been hanging out in the background, but Mimi Q needs to be here with us. Just gives us a little more. Hi. Hi, Mimi Q. And like I'm never gonna stop waving this around because this is like the best thing I've ever found in my life. It's like the coolest pen ever. I don't often drink coffee. If I do, it's half calf or decaf Starbucks because coffee makes me sleepy. You know what? It does the same thing to me sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling. Like if I'm already feeling sleepy, then it actually helps me stay awake for a bit. But if I'm not sleepy, it makes me sleepy. So weird. So weird. Oh, Mimi Q needs a summon button, right? He's just he's just a reminder to love ourselves, be kind to ourselves, be accepting of ourselves. Because Mimikyu is just such a sad, beautiful Pokemon. And I remember the very first time that I ever saw Mimikyu, and I saw him with this little bag thing shaped like, Pikachu. And I'm like, this Pokemon's trying to be something it's not. And it just like, this, just so many of the bells rang off in my head. This is before me knowing anything about Mimikyu. This is the very first time I saw Mimikyu. And I was like, this poor Pokemon is trying to be something it's not. Why is it trying to be like Pikachu? And then and I was like, man, I was like, what's going on with poor Pokemon? Like, what's wrong with it? And the more I started to learn about it, the sadder it was. And it was just like, this poor Pokemon doesn't love itself. It does not like the way it looks. It wants to make friends, but it's scared that it's going to scare people away and it's not going to be accepted. And it's just, this is why now Mimikyu is a reminder to love yourself, be kind to yourself, you know, just be loving to yourself because self love is the best love. And Mimikyu still has to learn that. Mimikyu needs to learn that we are beautiful, special in our own way. And oh my God, I saw this last episode with Mimikyu and he flew over the water and he saw his own reflection and he became so dejected. So like he lost all his fight, all his willingness to fight, all because he saw himself in his reflection and it was just like appalled by himself. And I was just like, no, baby. My heart just broke for him. So yes, whenever Mimikyu is around, it's a reminder for all of us to love ourselves, be accepting of ourselves, be respectful to ourselves. Self love is important, sweetie. Love yourselves. Yeah. Our mental health companion for today is Mimikyu, and that's our suicide prevention chicken back there, Todd. You know, he's our email chicken that reminds you that although you may feel down sometimes, although the world may feel too big for you, and sometimes you feel like giving up, hang on, be strong. You can get past this. You can be a survivor. It's, that's our suicide prevention chicken up there. That's Todd. So if you ever see Empress come in and she goes, "Hi, Todd," that's who she's saying hi to. Todd, the chicken up there. We all go through things, guys. So there goes our helplines. You know, gotta post it up there. We all go through things and we never know what any one of us are going through on any given day, what challenges we all face behind the screens. You know, you can see me right here. I'm smiling at you. You don't know what I'm going through. No, camera's cut off. You don't know. Oh, well, I can sit here and talk to you guys, and you know me, but only as much as I'm willing to give to you of myself. But you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So, just like you don't know that, you don't know what anybody's going through that you come across each and every day. That's why kindness is the biggest thing that you can give to anyone, even if they're being a jerk, even if they're being an ass. Yep. Because sometimes all they ever need is a little kindness, for somebody to show them the smallest amount of kindness. And that can make all the difference for that person in that day. That can be the one thing that keeps them from doing something that could have been prevented if somebody had even seen or showed them that little bit of kindness. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations to your friend, Queen. I hope she had a safe delivery and I hope the baby was healthy and strong. Dave, I am so proud of you for reaching out for help in your time of need, for using the hotlines, because they are there exactly for that, for us to be able to reach out when we feel like we're in crisis, when we feel like we have no one to listen to us. I am so freaking proud of you. I'm so proud of you for being here with us and being strong enough to share that you too have used the hotlines. We have a lot of people who match energies. Um, and I tend to match energies, but I'm also very aware of situations. I'm aware that maybe they're not trying to be rude, but they're coming off as rude because maybe they had a crappy freaking day. And the anger is not meant towards you. It's just build up frustration. And the way that they spoke came off rudely, but they weren't intending to be rude. Now, it's a difference if somebody's blatantly trying to be rude to you and just cursing you out for no apparent reason. I'd be like, somebody didn't hug you today, huh? Do you need a hug? I don't even know what the men's shed is, but if it's a mental health space, congrats on having that space to be able to go and talk to people and feel safe. But how are you all doing today? How's your mental health feeling and doing today? How are you feeling emotionally, mentally, and physically? I hope you're all doing well. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. So you had a celebration of life and then you have a remembrance of life. Again, my heart goes out to you, and I hope that you and your family members and your friends' families are comforted in this time of need. Hi, Uni. Welcome in, sweetie. Uni, what we doing in paleo today? What we doing? Oh, Uni, have you been playing Grow? Tell me you played Grow. Tell me. Can't stop fidgeting with this thing. Is my coffee done? My coffee. We're gonna read chapter 14 and chapter 15 because I was looking at stuff. I was looking. Did you like it, Dream? Did you like it, Uni? I was looking at some stuff and I realized that Dave redeemed for us to read another chapter yesterday. And I can't remember if I actually read it or not. So that's why I said 14 and 15 for today, because I figured that we would read those two. Unless I did read two chapters yesterday. I can't remember. Does anybody remember if I read two chapters yesterday? Did I only read one chapter yesterday? Give me a second. Oh no, I think I did because this is 14. The Okay, we start off on chapter 15. We read chapter 13 and 14. I counted all the chapters. So we did read two chapters yesterday. We read 13 and 14, but 14 was so small that it almost appeared like we didn't. I'm trying to see. 'Cause I think we did. We did. Okay, so then today we're doing 15 and 16. Oh, hello. Welcome in, Raiders. Oh my goodness. Hello. Hi, lovely. Welcome in, Raiders. Oh, here comes the boom. I love that. Hello, lovelies. Welcome in. Boom, human. I love it. That's such a cute name. Hello, love. And you were playing Palea today as well. Okay, what did you accomplish in Palea? And you got here just in time because we're about to start reading time. We usually do check in, mental health check in, and then we usually do reading time, and then we jump into our games. Hello. How's your stream so far? Our stream is really good so far. Nice and quiet, gentle start. That's usually how we start off the stream, and we do mental health check-ins because this is a safe space and a mental health friendly space. So if you want to do a mental health check-in yourself, you're welcome to do so. And we also do give out the helplines for anyone who finds themselves in crisis, but you can always reach out and talk to anyone there. Those hotlines are there for anyone who is in need. We did the Pavel Mind seance with Hadari. Oh my God, that one was so good. Getting the candles and putting them all over Pavel Minds. Yes. Away. Get the scary ickies out. Talking about Hadari. You were helping out my husband, my boo. It's a pillow, by the way. I also have a shirt. That's my bow thing. Yes, you know it. You know that's my boo thing. That's my bae. Like he's sitting next to me in the chair. It's all right. I bring the chair over this way. I look at him, and then when my back is hurting, he supports me. I put him back here, and he just props me up. I be like, "Oh, thank you, boo thing." He's like, "Anything for you, darling." And I'm like, "Soon." He's got my back exactly. It's a big bunny. Okay. But yeah, so did you get any plushies? Did you go hunting for any? Oh, which one of the spuds did you get? Mm-hmm. It's all right. I tell everybody that I'm the main wifey, but I've come to the conclusion and I've come to the understanding that he will never fully only be mine because he's just too spicy to be contained for one person. So I'm okay with just, sharing him. I'm okay. This open relationship that I have with him is fine. It's kind of one-sided though. He can have all the wifeys and the hubbies. I'm just gonna always be by his side. That's just it. Whenever he gives you steak, just remember that I've made that meal. So technically you're eating the food that I made and he's just out here just giving you my steak and my food that I've just slaved away cooking for. Not only did I cook it, but I hunted that steak. All right? I hunted that steak. All right? I marinated that sucker and all he did was put that sucker on a grill. That's all I'm saying. It's all right. I ain't even mad at it though. I know it just keeps him filled with love and the fact that, you know, my love interest, my boo is surrounded with so much love. It makes me happy. It makes my heart happy. So it's okay. Yeah, all invited to the cookout. Don't worry. I still love you all. You welcome. I know I put my foot in it. That's my own marinade. Listen, I've come to the conclusion, I know not a lot of people would be like me. They'd be like, back away from my man. I'm about to, you know? But I'm like, love is love. And, I realize that there's a lot of him that needs to be loved. I will always be the main boo, but I'll let other people love him too. It's okay. I ain't even mad at it. I'll just keep making steaks so he can give out to you guys. You good. Hi, Empress. How are you doing, sweetie? I hope you had a great day, love. Sending you hugs and love. I'm not that easy to cook. It's not that easy to cook steak on the grill. You got to do the right temperature. You got to make sure the grill is. Who do you think cleans the grill? Who do you think sets up the ding on temperature? Me. He slaps it on there, and I got to come over there and stick the thermometer, make sure that it's nice and good. Y'all be thinking too highly of his cooking skills. That's why I tell you guys, it's my steak. He just be out there looking like he cooking it. We good. Make sure it has propane or charcoal, whatever top grill. Because if it's not clean, you can get sick, and if it's too hot, it's gonna burn the food. Ain't that the truth? Listen, Panda, I already know. I told you guys. He stand out there, he just be like, "Darling, I'm hungry." I'm like, "In a minute, I'm gonna take this. The steak needs about 2 more minutes, sweetie." My boys are Reth and Hadad and Ho Daddy, but romancing them all for the funsies. I just want the pictures. I ain't wearing nobody's pin but Hadari's. I might let me not lie. I might wear Anar's. I might wear Anar's. But for the most part, it's just Hadari. I tell everybody about my love affair with Hadari way before he was even romanceable. My daily walks with him back and forth from the entrance of Bahari all the way into town and back again. Hmm. Yes, those are the best times before everybody was romancing him. It was just me and him walking back and forth, taking our strolls. Putting Titan's bed together in my room. How's Titan doing? Did everything go well with the operation? I'm going to be lurking a while I get some food. All this steak talk is making me hungry. But seriously, so nice to meet you. Oh, it was nice to meet you too, sweetie. All right. So I need to change this because this currently says chapter 14 and 15, but we're going to be reading chapter 15 and 16. Chapter 15 because that's the chapter that we normally read, and then I believe redeemed reading time. So since you redeemed reading time, that means we get an additional chapter. All right. So before we hop into the game, you already know we have to do our last magician reading time. Queen, thank you for the redemption. Empress, I would love to hear about Titan and how he's doing. I'm gonna, oh my God, my coffee. I love you. Thank you. This is everything right now, guys. Mm. All right. He's still wobbly from the drugs they had him on. Took his tooth, and I didn't know they would. I wish they had told me. I would have wanted it for his doggy tooth fairy or a jar for his shrine when he passes. But I digress. They don't still they didn't have it. I mean, I'm sure they should have had it. I don't know if I still where do I have them? I can't remember where I put it. I have it in a tin, but I have like a little tin for Leah when I only got like two or three of her teeth when she was teething and her teeth were coming out. I got two or three of those and I got like two or three for Maddie as well. Oh my goodness. No problem. Go, baby girl. Go take care of Titan, sweetie. That big boy needs all the loving and the help. Don't worry. She'll explain to us later, sweetie. Let her take care of Titan first, and when she gets back, she can explain. All right, I'm gonna turn on the lurker bait for you guys so you can play the little fishing game while I'm reading. Um, we can switch. I'm gonna jump over here, and then what I'll do is I will just enlarge right here like this, so you guys can see your fishies. Because I don't think the fishy shows up on the other screen. All right. All right. So we will be reading chapter 15 and 16 today. So yesterday we read and Darrigan was trying to get away from everything and everybody. He sneakingly got himself invited um to the Metropolitan to see some of the rare artifacts and rub elbows with some of the more, you know, rich crowd. But finally, finally, chapter 15, we jump back to Esther. Remember, Esther got knocked out. Esther's been like captured at this point. I don't know. But she's been knocked out. Remember the big guy who was trying to get all handsy with her? Right? And then she kicked his face into like smithereens. And She was just trying to get away from him, but then the bouncers or whatever at the place, I think they knocked her out, and so they captured her. So let's see what's what. Let's see what happens with Essa. Bridget Malone, I presume. The Haymarket. The first thing Essa noticed when she came to was that she wasn't alone. Her head still ached from the blow, and she was slumped against a damp wall in a room that smelled dank and old, the way basements do. She kept her breathing steady, her body still, as she slowly moved her hands down to her leg. Her fingers seemingly found the edge of her boot, but the Kari's knife was gone. All at once, the air went out of her lungs. Her eyes opened as her chest constricted in a desperate attempt to breathe. Ah, so I was right. A rasping voice crowed, "You are awake." Esther's vision struggled to adjust to the sudden brightness, and when it did, she saw the light in the room wasn't coming from a lamp, but a person holding a dancing flame in the palm of her hands. "That's enough, Warner," the woman said, nodding to the boy standing next to her. He glared at Esther, but a moment later, she could breathe again. "You're maybe wondering where you are," the woman said with a sly, satisfied smile. "Okay, Dave, I'm gonna like ban chicken when we're reading." "Dave, I'm gonna come at you." Got me sitting here doing chicken dances and we're trying to read. Mm, Dave. All right, let's see. Where were we? All right, here goes. "You may be wondering where you are," the woman said with a sly, satisfied smile. She was small and surprisingly willowy, considering the raspy tenor of her voice. With her coppery hair and fair skin, she might have once been pretty, but now she only looked worn. The boy was about Essa's own age, with a squint-eyed glare and a smirk on his face. Essa didn't particularly care where she was because she wasn't going to be there for very long. She focused on the seconds that ticked by, but her head felt wobbly and unclear. And when she tried to slow time, she felt the splitting pain behind her eyes. She couldn't keep the panic gasp from escaping her throat when time slipped out of her grasp, eluding her. "That would be the opium," the woman said as Essa tried to pull herself back up against the wall. "We couldn't have you leaving us too soon, could we now? You'll find it impossible to call on your affinity as long as the poppy remains in your blood. So, it's best you resign yourself to being our guest for a while longer until we decide what your fate will be." "Please," Essa said, forcing herself to make her voice small. She noticed a sticky sweetness hanging in the air now, the fuzziness in her head. "You've caused me quite a problem, girl," the woman cut in. her voice barely a whispering growl. The man you laid low is Mr. Murphy, and he happens to be one of Mr. Corey's best customers and one of the most powerful men in the city. There are few drafts enough to cross him like you did. He'll not rest until he finds the girl who broke his ugly grob. And he'll not be satisfied until he pays someone back in kind. That someone isn't gonna be me. He's a right nasty one. The type to enjoy every second of your pain, if you understand what I'm saying. Esther made no move, but the woman gave a wan smile nevertheless. Ah, you do understand then. The smile fell from the woman's face and her eyes went cold. So you'll understand that you don't have much time before Mr. Corey turns you over to him. Unless you give me a good reason not to, of course. Esta schooled her expression to give nothing away. Not a blink to tell a woman that the idea of being at the large man's mercy was more than repulsive. Not a twitch to give away the panic of not being able to call on her magic. Oh, you think you're so brave, but you can protect yourself from the likes of him. The woman scoffed. Huh, here, let me show you. The fire in her outstretched hand grew, danced as she brought the flame up closer to her face and pulled down the high collar of her dress with her other hand. Beneath the lace, her skin was scarred in a gnarled mask. Esta couldn't stop from wincing. "Mm, I was pretty once, like you. You go on with your determined eyes and stiff spine, but the strongest spine will snap easily with a boot pressing down on it. Murphy has eyes everywhere in this city. Magic or no, you'd not last 2 days without help or protection. You can give me protection from Murphy?" The woman nodded. "If you make it worth my while. You've caused a right mess for Mr. Corey, and his messes always become mine. I hate messes, girl. So you're not worth more than the problem you've caused. I'll hand you over to Mr. Murphy, wrapped in lace, tied with a bow of the finest silk. And I won't think twice about whether you'll ever see the daylight again." Esta stared. Esta started to protest, but the woman raised her hand. There was no signs of burns or scarring from where she had held the fire. Esta's skin tingled again from the magic that seemed to saturate the air in the room. However, Murphy isn't one of us, and I'd just as soon he go hang than get one bit of pleasure he hasn't rightly paid me for. If you prove to me to be a smart girl, perhaps I'll know of someone who could protect you, so long as you remain useful, that is." The woman stepped closer. "Tell me, why did you come to my ballroom when you clearly weren't looking for the company of a man?" I I came to find Bridget Malone." The woman didn't react, save for a small muscle that ticked near her eye. She studied Esther a little longer, and then she exchanged a glance with Werner, who gave a subtle shrug. "Bridget Malone, you say?" the woman asked. Her voice, if it was possible, had gone even rougher. I I was told that she finds places for people. Oh no, this is not her. This is Esther. I was told that she finds places for people with certain abilities. Esther said, never once breaking the stare with a woman. People like us. And what abilities do you claim? Esther tried to focus again. The cloud of opium was already starting to dissipate, and its power over her was starting to wane. I'm a thief, she said simply, sticking as close to the truth as possible. A thief? Even though the rasp in the woman's voice, Esther could hear her doubt. There's already enough of those in the city to fill all the cells in the tombs thrice over. Why would anyone have use for another? Because I'm the best of them. I can steal a diamond, an elephant, or anything in between. No one can stop me. Essa leaned forward, as though sharing a secret, because no one can see me. Werner laughed, but the woman simply watched Esta, searching her face for some sign of the lie. The woman's mouth made a pinch shape of disbelief. You, you can prove this. Esta took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and in a split second it took for Werner and the woman to exchange another, more doubtful glance. Thank you, Queen. Moonwolf, thank you for the mod love. Hello, Crimson Moonwolf. Hello. Hope your day and night is going fantastic. If no one has told you, I am proud of you. I wish you all the best in life. Remember, you continue to be amazing and inspirations. Stay hydrated. Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you so much. And I hope that you know that you are loved, you are cared for, you are accepted. And I hope that you're taking good care of yourself. You're eating, you're hydrating, and staying rested. Thank you for being amazing. And thank you for sharing your kind words. I love you, Queen. Thank you for the song. Here we go. Essa took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and in a split second it took for Werner and the woman to exchange another more doubtful glance. Essa had pulled time to a stop, crossed the room, plucked the brooch from the neckline of the woman's dress. Before the woman's suspicious eyes returned to where Essa had been sitting, she was gone. When Werner came barreling through the door, the woman wide-eyed behind him, Esta was waiting, leaning against the wall outside the room, with a bored look on her face. Using her affinity through the remaining haze of the opium had all but drained her. She couldn't have done anything more to escape if she had wanted to, even if Warner hadn't immediately gone on the attack. The second Warner saw her, she felt her chest go tight and her throat begin to close. But this time she was ready for the unsettling feeling of being suffocated. She'd never felt magic quite so powerful before, which was worrisome enough. But worse, from the way he was taking order, Esther understood that he probably wasn't all that powerful, not relative to others. Professor Lachlan had tried to warn her, but now she understood. Magic was different there, like nothing she'd ever experienced. But she didn't have any time to worry about the fact. If the two knew how little strength she had left, Esther would lose her upper hand. So she pretended a calm confidence she didn't feel. When the woman saw she hadn't escaped, hadn't even tried to get away, she slapped Warner's arm. A heartbeat later, Esther could draw air into her lungs once more. A fair trick. the woman said, her face not betraying any hint of surprise or anger or even interest. But you wouldn't have gotten very far, not with Mr. Murphy looking for you. Who said I was trying to leave? Esther said, holding up the brooch. So the fake stones glinted in the light thrown by the ball of fire in the woman's hands. I was only proving how useful I can be. Besides, why would I run from the very person I'm looking for? Miss Malone, I presume. The woman blanched a little, but managed to hold on to her composure as she reached out and took the brooch Esther was holding. Please, Esther said, I need a place to stay. I'm a hard worker, and I will be loyal to anyone who helped me. The city doesn't need any more thieves. I can make it worth your while. Esther ran her fingers along the edge of her bodice until she found a small pocket sewn in the lining, revealing that they hadn't found it as they had her knife. She pulled out the diamond she'd taken in Schwab's mansion. Here, she said, offering Bridget the stone. This is all I have. After a long moment, Bridget took the stone, examined it, and then eyed Esther again. So she tucked the diamond into her pocket. Hmm, maybe I know somewhere you could go. Where are your people? Relief coursed through her, but she tamped it down. It was too soon to celebrate. Dead. There was a fire. She let her voice trail off, and she glanced away, sinking the hook into the lie. Warner shifted uneasily to his feet at the mention of the word. No doubt he had his own experience with the fires that were so common in the city. She learned from Professor Lachlan about the accidental blazes that consumed whole buildings filled with magical refugees, while the fire brigades, controlled by the dependent on the order, stayed away. Bridget's eyes narrowed. There's no one to come looking for you? No one except you. No one except your Mr. Murphy, Issa told her. In the long moment that followed, it took every bit of strength Issa had left in her not to falter. If Bridget refused to help now, she wasn't sure what she would do. The professor's plan hinged on Esther's exposing herself and Bridget seeing something of interest in Esther's talent. But they hadn't planned on Esther making an enemy of Bridget. If the madam turned her away, or worse, turned her over to Murphy, Esther had already used every ounce of her strength on the desperate bid to prove herself. She had nothing left, not even the diamond. And if they drugged her any more, she'd be beyond helpless. How? How did you know who I was? Bridget asked. I'm good at recognizing a tell, she explained with a shrug. A good thief knows to read a mark. Bridget's features registered her understanding of what Esther's words implied, that she had been the mark. But she didn't address the insult. You hesitated when I said your Oh no, you hesitated when I said your name. Bridget frowned. I didn't. It wasn't much. And then there was the tiniest tick of a muscle in your cheek. If I hadn't been looking, I wouldn't have seen it at all. Esther conveniently left out the fact that she had always known that she was always looking, always aware. Professor Lachlan had trained her too well not to be. Bridget's mouth went tight. Then she spoke to Werner. Take her. Take her to Dolph Saunders. He should be able. He should be at the Strega this time of night. At the mention of the name, Esther felt a surge of victory, but she tamped it down. She wouldn't get ahead of herself, not yet. Please, she said, hesitating when Bridget's eyes narrowed. Can can I have my knife back? What knife? Bridget asked, her face impassive as flint. The one that was in my boot, the one you took. Bridget's expression never wavered. After I saved you from Mr. Corey, after I've offered to help you find protection, you accuse me of stealing from you. As I met Bridget's steady gaze weighed her options. She needed the knife, the safety and assurance it represented, the link that it was to her own time. But she also needed Bridget Malone to give her an introduction to Dolph Saunders. Takari would understand, she told herself. She'd come back later. There would be time enough to get the knife. When she didn't argue anymore, Bridget gave her a smug look before addressing Warner again. If Saunders isn't pleased with her abilities, bring her back here and we'll give her to Mr. Corey. She glanced at Esther, a warning in her expression. If she tries anything at all, kill her. The New Age. The Docks. Jack Rue closed his eyes against the throbbing in his head as the carriage rattled onward. Perhaps the last round of drinks had been a mistake. Actually, the entire night had been a mistake from the beginning to the end. Though a bit of silk would have managed to walk away with the contents of his wallet had been worth it. He thought with a small smile. It wasn't like she got away with much anyways. He knew not to bring a heavy wallet to a place like the Haymarket, no matter what the rest of the family currently thought of him. He'd show them how wrong they were, eventually. It was only a matter of time before his project would be complete, and then his uncle and his cousins and the rest of the world and the rest would forget about that unpleasantness in Greece with the girl and recognize his vision. He'd be back in the order's good graces, and they would have no chance but to give him the respect he deserved. It wasn't as though he would have really married the girl. She'd bespelled him, tricked him with her power. Then she made off with his grandmother's ring, proving his entire family, including Junior, right, which truly was the one sin he could never forgive her for. Most days he tried not to think of her or of the whole mess. But as the carriage rattled on, he couldn't stop the direction of his thoughts. Maybe it was the last round of whiskeys. Or maybe it was the disaster of the evening, but the memory of his mistake pulled at him, and he couldn't help but wallow in the past. He'd gone on his grand tour so naive, so full of expectations. He thought he would find great secrets of Europe, hallowed libraries, and laboratories to help the work of the order. But he found a girl instead. She made him believe she was different from the others. For a while, he'd been taken in by the sun in her smile and the glimmering promise in her eyes, and he started to think that perhaps the order had misunderstood the threat Magus posed to the country. But in the end, she showed herself to be a miscreant, a criminal like all the others. In the end, her betrayal proved that the order had been right all along. It left unchecked. Those with the old magic would take advantage of good people, normal people. If left to go free, they would destroy everything in their path. But egad, she was beautiful, with curves in all the right places and a mouth. Mm. The carriage came to a clattering stop, and Jack grabbed hold to keep from being thrown forward. The last round was definitely a mistake. Wait for me, he commanded the driver as he alighted. I'll be just a minute. Despite the cold, the air smelled a fish, and the heavy metallic tang of oil and machinery. The wind cut hard there, close to the water, so Jack pulled his fur-lined collar up around his neck to ward off the chill as he walked towards the destination, a long, low-slung building nearly indistinguishable from the others. He used his key on the heavy lock and let himself in. Inside it wasn't much warmer, but a small stove glowed in the corner where an old man sat hunched over his work, his back to the entrance. Sparks from the welding torch flew up around the man, silhouetting him like a living gargoyle. When the man heard the door slam, he switched off the torch and turned to greet Jack. "How's it coming?" Jack asked. The man lifted the heavy welding mask, revealed a face lined by age and scarred by some earlier mishap. "It comes," he said with a shrug. "How much longer?" The man considered the question. "A week, maybe more. But you'll need to find a way to stabilize the power it generates before it'll work properly." Jack frowned. A week? A week wasn't long enough, and the conclave wasn't until the end of the year. He still had time to get it right. Still, with the failures of the night still fresh, impatience scraped at him. Let's see how she runs." The old man frowned. I I haven't connected the receptors. It won't build up a sustained charge. That doesn't matter. I want to see the progress you've made. Jack walked to the center of the room where the cloth was draped over a large object. He took the corner and snapped the cloth away, imagining himself in the moment, not so long from now, when he would make this same movement, revealing his creation, his greatest triumph to the order. No one would be laughing at him then. A large machine, gleaming dully in the oil lamp's wavering glow, wide orbital arms surrounding its central globe, like a giant gyroscope, like a like a gyroscope, it would bring balance. The body wasn't complete. There were unconnected wires and plugs sprouting from its missing panels. But eventually, the machine's inner workings would be covered with sleek, polished steel, a beautiful piece of machinery for a new age, a modern age, free from the threat of the feral and uncontrolled magic of the Magus. Jack had been thinking about bringing Hart Darrigan along with him that night to show him the progress he made. He had a feeling Darrigan would understand, might even be impressed by what Jack had managed to accomplish in a short time. It wasn't enough, though. Jack still hadn't figured out how to contain the energy the machine generated. The brink could do it, but that was such old, outdated magic. If he could only figure out how the brink did it, Jack could solve his problems, could apply the old method to his new project. But the order kept its secrets close, even from its own members, until he proved himself. They wouldn't let him into the mystrium to search for the answers he needed. So he would have to find them for himself. Jack thought Darrigan might be able to help with that, considering the amazing feats he'd seen Darrigan do on stage, things that only someone with a deep knowledge and understanding of magic could do. The man must know something that could help Jack solve this last problem. And Darrigan understood the importance of an audience, of a little drama. It was what the Ortis Aurea needed. Secrecy and small strikes weren't enough. Not anymore. Not with the ever increasing hordes coming to their shores and the Magus hidden among them. What was needed for this new century was a statement of power to prevent the maggots from seeing the city as a haven for their feral magic in the first place. No more simply containing the threat. No more trying to keep them out. It was clear enough that Ellis Island had been a failure. Despite the inspectors, Mancuses were still getting in. No, they had to be eliminated. He had a feeling that Hart Darrigan would understand that as well, but his cousin had chased him off. Junior always had been a veritable horse's ass. Jack thought bitterly, so full of his own importance. Go on, he told the man. Fire it up. He circled the machine, admiring the metalwork, modernity of it. If it worked, and eventually it would work, Jack had no doubt it would change everything. He would show them all, and then he would be the one to lead the order into the future. End of chapter 16. Well, we found out what happened to Essa, and now we know what Jack has up his sleeve. Very interesting. A lot has happened in such a short amount of time in this book. That is very interesting. All right, we're gonna hop over and play the game. I'm gonna switch over to this one here. I'm gonna go ahead and load up Palia. Oh, today is Wednesday. Focus Food Wednesday, right? Um, do we have anybody out there who wants to do focus food? That is the question. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I think I need to wake you up. You wanna say hi? Come here. Come say hi. You want to do uppies? I'm sorry, my baby. I didn't know. I didn't know, honey. I thought you were going to go to bed. I thought you were going to go to bed, honey. You want some more? Oh, he's a sleepy baby, guys. Mm, he's Maddie girl. Our sleepy baby. Our sleepy baby. Hi, baby. Hi, sleepy girl. Welcome back, Empress. We just finished reading and we accidentally woke up Maddie. So we're giving her some lovies. Mm, I'm so sorry, my baby. Mm, can I put you to bed with daddy? Mm, sit there. Okay. I took the girls to the room so they can be with their daddy. Hold this weight, all things are right. and I don't accidentally kick anyone. Feel so bad because they like to sleep underneath the table, and I always end up giving one of them a kick when I move my feet. I'm like, I'm sorry, babies. Mommy didn't mean to. I'm always apologizing like 1,000 times to the girls. Like, I'm sorry, my love. I'm like, you're down there and I can't, I didn't know. All right. So I got spuds. I already cleaned them. And let me show you which ones I got. Oh, bitty hop, bitty hop. I got this one here. Um, that one. And this one. This one looks like a jellyfish. It's very interesting looking. I'm trying to see if like there's any, I don't know. It just looks like a jellyfish. You see it? And then I got this one here, which looks like baby toes. These look like baby toes. There's a succulent that's called baby toes, and it looks like that. It's cute though. All right, are we doing focus food today or no? I'm trying to figure out like because it feels like it's a little darker than usual, but I also don't have any lights on this plot, so it might be a me issue. And let's just steal some of these. I want the toilet. The toilet can stay. Yeah, these are great. Here, we'll put one of these here. Oh, that's like the barest of lights. It's not even bright. It's a little brighter. I'm just gonna put a bunch of lamps all over the place.